All right. Well, hopefully people will roll in here soon. So how's everybody doing? I hope you're all doing well. Cool. Um,
How are you doing?
oh, I'm great. I am. Today's my kind of at home today day, so that's good. That's always a good day.
I'm jealous.
Yeah. Okay, so let's see how many. Okay, so we got 12. So we have three more people. I think need to show up, but we'll get started. First thing is if you haven't done your listening discussion post, today is the last day to do um, for the graphics score, the graphics score one. Today is the last day to do that one. Okay, so please do that today if you haven't already done it. If that works for you, um, or if it doesn't work for you, I don't care. Just do it. But and then what else? Let's see. Yeah, several things to do actually. So real quick, I want to talk about real quick. I'll just go to me here. So real quick, I want to talk about um, the next listening discussion, which is an actual discussion. Um, wait, let me make sure I have my right mic. I never checked that. I want to make sure I have the right mic. Yeah. So my voice. If let me know if my voice is like crackly ever, like even beyond today, because sometimes I forget to select the correct mic, and then I'm using like this cheap like mic inside my headphone, which sounds like garbage apparently. Um, but anyway, so yeah, next listening discussion is this Paula Matheson piece. So this one is, I mean, this was what I mentioned in my email last week or earlier this week, I guess. But this one is, yeah. So this one is for bassoon and electronics, right? So this was not just like a fixed media piece this time. Um, and yeah, maybe it'll inspire some of you musicians to do something for your final project with voice or with voice or violin or well, I'm trying to remember all the instruments: trombone, bass. What else do we have? I don't remember, but viola. Yeah, yeah. Okay. Yeah. So maybe you guys would want to do like something with just you playing in electronics. So maybe this will inspire you to do that, or maybe it'll do the opposite of that. I don't know. But anyway, it's a cool piece, so check it out. It's very different than like the sort of conceptual fixed media pieces we've been listening to. This is like, and I think it's pretty. I think it's pretty accessible to for those of you who are new to this weird music that we're listening to. Yeah. Um, okay. And yeah, so check that out. The main thing I want to talk about real quick with that though is when you make your discussion poster, like you'll put it down here, of course, and you'll type it, and then so make sure you put your original post like that, replying to my original post up here, right? So you'll reply to that one, and then what you'll do as after we get some like original posts, and then I'll ask you to make a reply too, right? Um, right, and so looking at on Canvas, there is a guidelines for the discussions. Right, there's this link right here that gives you the guidelines for all like the written discussions that we're going to have here going forward. All right, and so this is you want to review like the stuff that we went over the first week of class. That'll help you a lot with yeah, coming up with things to talk about, basically. Yeah, and so yeah, you want to review the Schwerg thing that we went over the first week. There's also, if it's helpful to take notes whenever you do it, if you go to week one, there is a Schwerg. Um, there's the Schwerg prompt, which maybe gives you some questions to ask yourself, but then there's the template, which you can make a copy of. It'll prompt you to make a copy of it, and it will, and then you can make a copy and then like fill it in as you're like sort of like take notes as you go to to listen to the piece. Okay. Cool. Oh, one other thing I want to say about this, I'm not sure. Right, so I said it was for bassoon and electronics, but you'll notice towards the end for this performance, um, oh, sorry, for this performance, there's like percussionists in the background that sort of join in at one point. And so you can choose to talk about that if you want, or you can just pretend like everything is just part of the electronics, because I've seen performances where like I think the percussion part is like incorporated into the electronic part. Um, So yeah, so you can tackle that whichever way you want. Because yeah, I saw performance with just bassoon and electronics the first time I saw it, with this exact performer, Dana Jessen. Um, and but then like apparently for this festival they did it with percussion. So just for like the end of the piece for whatever reason, I'm not sure what's going on there, but okay. But anyway, yeah. So here's the guidelines for the discussion. So just read through them. Like they're pretty straightforward, I think. I'm not going to be super picky. It sounds like in my discussion, it sounds like in my guidelines here that I'm going to be very picky, but I'm not. I mainly just want to see. I'd rather you come up with a few sentences rather than typing a lot. I'd rather you come up with a few succinct points about the piece. That way people can just like read it quickly and then have like a few things to respond, maybe have something to respond to. Okay, so rather than coming up with a lot of stuff to say, just come up with like maybe 3 or 4 sentences that you think is succinct, that succinctly describes the piece for you. Or you can even talk about one specific part of the piece or one element of the piece. Like if you want to talk about only um, the ways in which the electronics interact with the bassoon part, right? And there's a lot of that in this piece, right? And it's like really subtle, but it's definitely there. And so if that's something you just want to concentrate for your post, if you just want to concentrate on that one part, you can do that. Okay, or if you want to concentrate on just like the last part of it, which is a really cool part actually. It'll be a surprise. Brace yourself. Yeah, but yeah, and if you just want to talk about one section of the piece and how that one section like sort of maybe comments or like complements the rest of the piece that happened before that or something like that, you can be creative. But yeah, give it a listen and then just try to do the Schwerg analysis that we did on week 1. All right. Something that I really don't want you to do is this. So like play by play, hopefully it's clear what I mean by that. Like you don't want to sound like a baseball announcer when you're talking about your piece, talking about the piece, right? So don't say like first this happens and then this happens and then this happens and then this happens. Like that's not interesting and it doesn't show like sort of summarization of your experience of the piece, I think. Yeah. Um, yeah, and also this, you don't need to compliment it. If there's something you don't like, then just say it. Yeah, it's okay if you don't like something about it. Oh yeah, and so we're all looking at the same YouTube video. So if you want to get a timestamp in the YouTube video, then that would be great too. Okay. So any questions about that? Yeah, and here's some FAQs. And here's a rubric. So the main point is make a standalone comment and then reply to someone else's comment. Okay, that's to ensure that you get the full credit. Yeah, and if you want to email me with questions too, I'll try to participate a little bit too with some replies. No questions. Okay, great. Um, Hit me up if you do have questions. Yeah, and don't worry about like using like super fancy vocabulary or anything like that. Just talk about it in the best way that you can. Okay, cool.
Do you want our replies to be like in the same vein as just like as our original post? When we reply to
Oh,
another person's comment, I mean.
oh no, replies are even more open-ended. You just reply in whatever way you feel is appropriate. Like don't just say like I agree, but yeah, just, do something to like either um, compliment or do something to like add on to their comment or contrast it in some way or whatever you want to say. But like one sentence is fine for that. It doesn't need to be. Yeah, it can be even shorter.
Great, thanks.
Yeah. Yeah, the replies are very, very open ended, just like whatever you feel like saying, pretty much. Just make it helpful, I guess, in some way. Hmm. Yeah. Okay. Cool. All right. So there's that. Um, what's next? Okay. So that's the most important thing. Um, is just going over that, and so that's for Monday, right? Okay. So we're all going to listen to this over the weekend. okay, clarify instructions for recording. Oh, okay, so recording project. Okay, so I just want to go over the instructions for that one more time, just to like really make sure that I've covered all my bases. Okay, so here's our recording assignment. Okay, and so I went over a lot of it already. So we're doing 10 recordings plus 2 additional ones that you're going to share with everyone else. Okay, the 2 that you share with everyone else, you're going to put it in under the recording module. There's this link right here that says shared samples link right under the recording assignment. Shared samples link. It'll take you to this guy right here. This is like an empty Google Drive folder that you should be, I think I did the settings right, where you should be able to add stuff to it. Okay, and so you'll just add your files to this, and this will be like shared, like Creative Commons for everyone, like throughout the semester, so that we can just have like a large amount of things. That yeah. So so like other people can use this, right? So don't like if you don't want your voice, if you don't want your voice recorded showing up in other people's pieces, then don't put those sound files here, right? Okay. So just think about that. Like other people are gonna have the right to sort of use it. Okay. Okay. Oh yeah. So 2 additional sounds plus the 10 that you're just gonna use for yourself. Okay. Yeah, and I talk about this sample rate, 24-bit det. If you can figure out how to get those settings on your microphone, that would be great. One of these 2 file formats, these are lossless formats, right? So they don't compress the file data in any way. Okay, don't use MP3. Yeah. Okay, and I'll show you how to export things properly in Reaper, or sorry, in Audacity and Isotope today. For the project, organize your files into 2 folders, right? So you'll have, like, if this is your project here, let's go to just desktop, and then I make a new folder called my project. Okay, and then inside that folder, we can make one folder for the unedited, right? And this is just something you'll do on your computer just to like show. Just to like keep track, keep organized. This is what I still do to this day. I still keep my unedited files in case just like I mess up something and I don't realize it when I'm doing my edits. It's good just to keep the originals. Okay, unedited, and then here is my edit. Right, so you make 2 folders like that. So after you've made your recordings, you'll put your originals in here. Okay, and then you'll make your edits, and then you'll export your edited files into the edited folder. Okay, if that makes sense. Okay, and so then once you're done, I want you to submit both the I think I clarify this here. Yeah, one folder will be originals. I want just to clarify. I'll clarify this even clearer, but I want you to submit both the originals and the edited versions of your recordings. Okay, that way I can hear like what if anything went wrong, I can hear what went wrong. Okay, next, and the okay, yeah, so yeah, oh, and then yeah, I want you to do it as a zip file. Okay, so either a zip file, or you can upload it as a Google Drive link if you know how to do that. Right, so those are your 2 options for submitting it, and you'll submit it on Canvas either way. Don't email it to me. Okay, all right, so you do either a URL to a Google Drive link. Make sure you have the share settings like properly shared or whatever. Make sure the best thing to do is just do share with share to anyone with a link. Anyone with a link can view is the share setting you generally want to use. Yeah, don't just like enter my email address and then share it with me, because it's just too hard to figure out. Like whenever I'm signed into like multiple email accounts and stuff, it's just ugh. I hate dealing with that. Okay. Okay, so yeah, so just make it anyone with a link in view, or you can do a file upload of a zip file, right? So a zip file like takes everything, like a bunch of files, and puts it into one file. I don't know how to do it on Mac, so you just have to figure it out. But on PC, you do it like this. Oh no, what's that? Okay. On PC, you do it like this. You just select a bunch of files, and you right click, and you say send to compressed zipped folder. Okay, you shouldn't need to download any special software um, to make a zip file. Okay, please don't give me like a computer virus from whatever software you download to zip files, because those are always weird. Okay, um, nice. Next up, I want you to put your files. Make sure, and this is not just for this assignment. This should be like something you always do. Always do this. Is just like keep like your file titles organized, right? So you say like here's my ping pong sound, and then this is the original, so I'm going to title it orig, right? Right. That's one thing you can do, and then I want you to put your initials with it too for this assignment, so I can tell whose is whose. Okay. All right. So please title your files this way. All right. It's good to put a number at the beginning too, I think. Yeah. That would be helpful. Okay. All right, so just format your file names like this, and then when you edit them, then just write like edit. If you want to get really crazy, um, something I do is I say which edits that I've applied to the files. Like, so if I add like a high pass filter and like denoise and dehum or something, then I'll just like add that into the file name just to know like what I did to get that, so that I don't do the same thing twice and like mess up or whatever. But you don't have to do that. You know. Okay, cool. All right, so any questions about that? Cool. So I know it's complicated, but yeah. But once you read it and once you get started on it, I think it'll be pretty straightforward. Okay. Yeah, please title your files this way. God help you if you don't. I will I will come through this computer. Okay. Yeah, yeah. So if let me know if you have any questions more about that. But you know, we're today. So today, I'm going to show you some more stuff in um, Isotope and Audacity, just to like do some more editing things. And then on Monday, we're gonna do like a recording day, right? Where I just like help you as much as I possibly can through whatever means. We're just gonna try to get some recordings, and that's gonna be our Monday. Okay. Um, when does that assignment due? Yeah, great question. That assignment is due. Yeah, I've never maybe said that. September 23rd. Yeah, so oh yeah, I'll double check the course schedule and make sure that says the same thing. But September 23rd is when we're going for that. Cool. So yeah, so like 12 days or something, 11 days. Yeah, still plenty of time. Oh, next thing with that, I know that, like there's a lot. I'm just going over a lot of course business sort of things today. Next thing with that, I just want to let you know that I will be, if you want to like get started, first, if you're able to come to Rice and pick up a microphone, um, I will be around. Like I'm actually around the building, just like hiding somewhere a lot of the time. And So I'll be around this weekend a lot, just working in Wortham probably, or either that or Rim Labs maybe. So yeah, so I'll be around if you want to come by at like anytime pretty much this weekend, like normal times. Yeah, I'll be around to like lend you a microphone if you want to. So yeah, so like this evening I'll be around, and then Saturday and Sunday I'll be around for good chunks of the day. So, but you know, just let me know ahead of time if there's a specific time you need to pick something up, right? So that way you can get started on this. Um, cool. And next, oh yeah, next. As you start making your recordings, you're going to want to start editing them. And so once again, those of you who come to Rice, in my email from yesterday, I sent out a form where you can like select some times that work for you. I think I should make there should be enough room that we can make it work for pretty much anybody that wants their times, right? So select like 5 or 6 times, maybe 4 or 5 times that you would really want, like 4 or 5 times, not for each day, but 4 or 5 times like out of the whole week, out of a normal week schedule, that you would want maybe to work in there. And it's not like you have to show up every single time or anything. If things get crazy during a project, then we'll come up with maybe a different solution or something. But like for normal times now, I don't think everyone will be using it that much anyway. So just for safety, yeah. And Chapman sent you all. You should have gotten an email from Chapman, I think yesterday, to the RimLabs list serve that tells you what tells you what the rules are for RimLabs. So give that a read if you didn't see that. But yeah, and they're posted in there too. Yeah, so there's like 55-minute chunks, and you got to take a break in between if you want to have like two back-to-back chunks of time reserved for you. Um, yeah, okay. So please fill that out, even if you only plan to come in like a few times in the semester. I just want to have something sort of reserved for you. Okay. Okay. Cool. Okay. Anything else? Oh yeah, and so this weekend, what I'll try to do two things. I'll try to make you a tutorial for just like a few things in Isotope that are specific to the updated or like the better version that we have there. That's not I can't really show you everything on my computer because I don't have the super nice version of Isotope. And then I'll make you a tutorial video on just like going into RimLabs and like, oh, I can't get sound to work, I can't get anything to work, everything's broken. I'll give you like a few troubleshooting steps that you can try. I think it's okay to email me, and if you're having trouble too, I can like try to help you. But I'll give you a few troubleshooting steps and just like how to get up and running in there. It's pretty easy, but yeah. Okay, cool. All right, any questions about Rim Labs and getting in there and things like that? Yes, just lots of business things today. I'm sorry. I know we want to get to the good stuff. But, okay, and I think that's it.
With all making the recordings and stuff, so would you say just like if we have the mic, record a bunch of individual files, put it on like a USB stick or whatever, then come to REM Labs, upload it, edit it, and that's kind of is that what you're kind of saying is like the schedule of how things should be going or be done?
Yeah, yeah, and if you're welcome if you have a good setup at home, or if you have nice headphones, then you can edit at home too. But yeah, do your recording. I would say try to do at least a couple of recordings first, and then maybe if I don't know, like if you've done anything like this before, then maybe you don't need to like do a test run first. But yeah, maybe for if you've never done this before, it'd be good to do a test run, like record a few sounds, and then go into RIM Labs and like edit them and see like if you made any mistakes, anything that showed up in the sounds that you weren't going to be aware that were there. That would be a good thing to
Okay.
do, I think. Yeah.
Okay.
Um,
Awesome.
yeah.
Thank
But
you.
yeah, that's the thing. That's the setup. And then yeah, of course you're always welcome to work at home too. Yeah. Okay, cool. Um, nice. Okay, cool. So yeah, so let's get started with the meat of things today. And so the first thing I want to just a few things to show you on like I only have like I can't show you like what will be the case with every single microphone ever, right? But this is a microphone that I'm talking into right now, but so hopefully it's not too noisy or anything. But I just want to show you a few things on it. Maybe I don't know if you probably won't be able to see it very well, but there is on the side. Oh, let me stop screen sharing. Maybe that'll help. There is on the side here. There's some things will have like a gain knob on the side of it. And so this one has a switch, right? This has a switch that says like low, medium, high. And that is like for determining how much like input the microphone is going to allow, right? So if you have like a louder sound, then you're going to want to turn down the gain so that you don't like get too much sound in, right? And so does anybody know what happens when you have too much sound? Does anybody know the term for that?
Clipping.
Yeah, yeah, clipping. Yeah, yeah. So clipping is like when the microphone is sort of like overloaded, sort of, right? It's like too much sound pressure for the gain level you have set, right? And some really loud sounds that you just like won't be able to record, but don't do that. Yeah. Yeah, but yeah, so you should want to adjust the gain on the microphone if your microphone
If
has a setting like that. Um,
if we do get a recording that's too loud, is there a way to do anything about that, or if you clip the sound, like is it just done for the recording?
yeah, so that's the clipping is like it is like sort of ruining the recording, right? So because
Okay.
it's like the microphone can't handle the level, so then it just like basically what happens is you have like a bass line, and then like your sound waves like go between -1 and +1, right? And those are that's like the bottom and the top. And then if your sound is like at 1, then it will just like the signal, instead of being like curved like this, it will just be like at the top, right? Like that. And so you can't, yeah, you just, there's nothing you can do about that. So if it clips, then you got to do the recording again. That's my only recommendation. Yeah. Hmm. Yeah, and so that's clipping. So you got to be careful of that. But then also on the other end, if your gain is too low, then yeah, it's just not gonna. Then the recording will sometimes be too noisy, right? Right. So like there is like a, just like in any electrical equipment, there's going to be like a base level of like noise. And so if you have a super soft sound and your gain is too low, then you're going to get a lot of noise in your recording, right? So you have to find a like a good balance of the gain, right? And so it just takes a little bit of practice, and most of the time it'll be fine if you keep it in the middle for most sounds, but it's just something to be aware of. Okay, and so like this one has, so if you have this kind, and I think some of the ones that you would check out from Rim Labs would have this on it, right? So it has the gain switch on the side for high, medium, low, and then you can adjust it in the with the buttons on the front of it too. There's like these fast forward and go forward buttons. Fast forward, rewind. That's the word. Those buttons are to adjust the gain as well. All right. Okay. Oh, and another thing to be aware of is a lot of recorders. You press the record button once to turn on like record monitoring, right? And then to actually record, you have to press the record button again, right? And then to stop recording, you press the stop button. Right? And like each one works differently, so yeah, they work a little bit differently usually, but so you just have to kind of practice and try it out if you don't have one of the Rim Labs ones. All right, and so like this one that I have here is different, and this one's even the same brand, but this one just has a gain knob and it says mic gain. Yeah. Why can't I figure out how my camera works? Okay, there. Yeah, it just has mic gain on it. But okay, cool. All right, so that's just things to be aware of. It's like really mundane stuff, but it'll make your life easier. I promise.
I have a question. On my
Hmm.
mic, I have a knob called pattern. And I was wondering, what is it exactly for pattern?
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, I'm not sure. So it must be that your mic has different like miking patterns. Does it give you options or?
Yeah, it gives me 4 options. It gives me 2 circles and 1 circle, and then like some other weird signs that are like circular.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, maybe if you take a picture of it and send it to me later, I'll like let you know what it is. I'm guessing that you want to use the one that has 2 circles. That's what I'm betting on, but yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Yeah, so yeah, and that's a good point. Like, make sure if there's different settings on your microphone for like mono and stereo, make sure you use stereo. That's what you're gonna want to use.
And then on my, I have like a button that says low cut. I don't know if you can see that,
Hmm.
but it gives me the option of 80 hertz, 120 hertz, or 160 hertz, or off. I don't know what that button does. I know what the rest of them do, but that one, it's just a mystery.
Yeah, so what that one's gonna do is it's gonna do exactly what it says. It's gonna cut off the low frequencies, uh, cut off the low frequencies below whatever the frequency value is. Yeah, and
Okay.
it won't be like a sharp cut, but it'll just sort of roll off after that, and that's good for like if you're recording outside and it sort of cuts down on wind noise a little bit.
Okay. So it's just mainly taking out all that lower frequencies just
Yeah,
from that get go. I don't have to do it later in post production.
right.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Cool. Thanks.
Hmm. Yeah, and so like yeah, like the higher numbers that you have on there is probably good for recording voice, but like for what we do, maybe you just want to leave it off, probably. Yeah, or in like the lowest one, or like 80 hertz or something. Wonderful, wonderful questions. Okay. So more of my questions, like ask me after class maybe. Okay, but yeah, let's keep going. Okay, so there's that. Just things to be aware of the mic. Then I also want to talk about. I also want to talk about just like editing more today a little bit. Um, just to sort of clarify what I talked about last time, and then just we can learn a few more things too. All right, so anything else? Oh, okay, so yeah, I fixed this from last time. Remember I was trying to show you examples. So this is up on Canvas under the recording module, I believe. Sound editing examples, yeah. There's a little page here where you can listen to it. All right, and so these are the recordings we were working with last time. And so we talked about, we definitely did, I think we did the Knive denoising, and then we did the dehum on the tape roll sound files. And I'll show you another thing, I'll show you another way to use the dehum module here today, I think. Okay, so let's do that real quick. So this is my original freezer sound. Remember I had the opening the freezer door, and then you hear like the crackles of everything, like it's like suddenly thawing because of the temperature change. And so let me know if you can't hear this. Maybe a little just soft. Okay, so the first thing I'll show you just real quick. So yeah, so like I said, it's really soft, and you know it's okay for things to be soft. If like it's soft when you record them, then you're probably liking the soft quality of that sound anyway. So you don't really need to do too much to make things louder. But if you want to, though, there is a way to do it. In both programs, there's this function called normalize. Okay. And normalize, what normalize does is it searches the sound file for the loudest point in the sound file. It finds the loudest point and then brings it up to, and then raises everything like in concordance to that loudest point up to the level that you choose. Okay, right. And so here it asks you in isotope what you want your target peak level to be. And so this is in decibels, and so you can go all the way up to 0, and so this would like max it out sort of. But I don't know, like you can, if you want things to be like a little bit louder but not too loud, then you could maybe do -3 decibels or something. And you click render, and you see it makes it much louder, right? And so now when I play it, it'll be, yeah, much louder. Cool. All right, it's cool. I actually kind of like that better actually, so I might keep it that way. But yeah, so that's one tool you can use, and the same, it works the same way in Audacity. Yeah, it's very easy to use in there as well. Let me try to get the original one, and I'm gonna open it in Audacity. So you might want to change your default programs to open sounds. I don't know like how much you use your computer for listening to music or something, but if it doesn't annoy you, it might be good just for a workflow to change what apps open with with sound files, especially the WAV format that we're using for this class, or like the AIF format that we're using. Probably good to set the defaults to open in either Audacity, well, yeah, probably Audacity for you all on your computers. And that'll be something that just applies to your computer. Yeah. Cool. And so here's my sound file. I got to select everything. So I'm just going to do Control or Command A, and then go to Effect, and then Normalize, and then it'll ask you what decibels, just like the other program. You can check this box to DC offset. That basically, it's more complicated than this, but it's sort of just like it says sort of like a low pass, or sorry, a low cut filter, just like on the microphone. That's kind of what that is. Okay, cool. And so they're normalized. Okay, and then we have a very similar result. Okay, cool. All right, and so this is good. This is good. And so I'm not going to require that you use the normalize function, but like a lot of times in like pop music, they like to use that. I think to make sure everything is at the same, like a consistent universal level for like the whole song or something. Yeah, so that's what the use of that for is. But like for our purposes, I think if we record a soft sound, we probably want it to stay soft. So you don't need to use the normalize always. Okay. Cool. So one other thing I wanted to show you with this sound in particular is that um, there's like the low hum of the freezer, and so maybe you like that, and yeah, I can see you definitely wanting to keep that. Right, all of this stuff down here. So I can just test it actually. It's an isotope. You can just go F and highlight that, and I can just play it with this little guy down here. I can just play only the selected frequencies, right? So we can hear that. Get a little low rumble. Okay, and I don't know why you don't need to do that, but I just wanted to show you that. And so let's say we wanted to get rid of that though, right? So there's a way we can do that, and this is a good sound file to do that because we have two separate things going on, sort of, right? So we have like the low hum of the freezer motor, and then we have like the crackles up here in the higher frequencies of like the everything like sort of crackling as it thaws. And yeah, and so one way we can do that is by using the dehum tool, but we're going to use it a little bit differently than what we did last time. Okay, and so like I said, I like to just use it in adaptive mode. That seems to be pretty good, but you can add on to that. Well, first let's just preview it in this mode first. So let's just see what it does. Yeah, and so you can already tell that it sort of takes away the hum a little bit. Okay, but then there's a way we can get rid of even more. And so what we can do is come up here and check the high pass filter. Okay, and what this is going to do is apply. It gives you a picture of what it's going to do. But yeah, it's going to cut away like a very small, like a very nice slope here, but it's going to cut away the lower frequencies. Okay, and we can adjust like how high or low that's going to be. Let's try it here for now. And yeah, I'm just trying things. I don't know what's going to happen, but that's what you have to do, right? So you can do preview. And so now, yeah, and so now you can tell that we get only the little crackles. Can y'all hear it? I don't know how well you can hear, but let me know if you can't. Okay, cool. And so let's try a little bit higher. Let's just experiment. Let's do much higher. Yeah, so now the hum is like pretty much completely gone. Okay, and so if you want to listen to that in high fidelity, you can listen to that on Canvas here under those examples. So, and then I titled it just to show you what I did. Freezer with the high pass filter and the denoise. Oh yeah, I also use denoise for this a little bit, but it doesn't really need it. I don't think. This one doesn't really need it that bad. Yeah. All right. Oh, so yeah, what did I forget to do? I forgot to render it. Yeah. Right. So I was previewing it before. All right. And so now, if I like it, I need to click render. All right. And then now it'll show up. And it'll show up in the picture too. The spectrogram. Sorry, I shouldn't call it the picture. You're not kids anymore. Okay. Cool. All right, next step, once I've got stuff the way I like it in Isotope, and Audacity is going to work in a similar way too. Both of these programs, when you just save something, it's not going to do what you expect, right? Okay, and so when you save something in either one of these programs, it's going to save a special like proprietary file that basically links to your original file and then remembers what like edits you've applied to that file. Okay, so it's not actually saving the audio data, it's just saving like what edits you've applied to it. and I don't use that at all. Okay, right? So if you can figure out how to use it, like I mean, I'm sure some people use it, but I don't ever use that for either one of these programs because it's just kind of annoying. I would rather just have my original sound files, and then have like my edited ones, and then if I mess up, I'll just go back to the originals and edit them again. Okay, right. And so what you do instead is you export files, right? And this is the same for both programs, right? So I've got this the way I want it, and so now I'm going to go up to File and Export, and you can also like export a selection to, if you just want to get a little piece of it. It's good to know the commands too. Like I never go up to File; I just use Control E normally. Right, it's good to start learning those. And then it gives you a little dialog box here, and you pick what you want. So I would pick either WAV or AIFF, and then you want your bit depth to be 24, and you click OK. And now it's going to make a copy of your original file. So it's not going to change your original file. It's just going to make a copy, and you pick where you want it to go. And didn't I set up something already? Oh, I'll put it in desktop, right? Well, where did I put that folder?
No, I saw it. It's in my project, I think, right?
Oh yeah, my project. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, right there it is. Yeah, I'm just blind. Like 90% of my day, I feel like is just like trying to remember where I've stored my files. It's sad. Okay, and so now I've got my edited, and then I'm gonna put it in there, and then it'll save my file in there. Cool. Cool. So same thing. Similar things are available to you in Reaper. And so, or sorry, why do I keep saying that? In Audacity, similar tools are available to you in Audacity too. It's a little bit different though, because it doesn't have the dehum tool. I don't think it doesn't have anything like that. Or let's check it out actually. Effect dehum. Yeah, I don't see anything like that. But let's say we wanted to do something very similar to that. It does have a high pass filter right here. Right, so I've got everything selected. So now I want to apply the high pass filter to everything. And so it gives you a frequency that you can pick, right? So it's like, once again with Audacity, it like does the same things. It's just like, it doesn't show you a picture of what it's doing, which can be kind of frustrating. But so you just have to like kind of do the effect and then listen to it. And then if it's what you like, then keep it, or undo and then try something else, right? That's the only like disadvantage sort of. So this is our high pass, so it's gonna like, so it's gonna cut the low end and let the high pass through, right? Okay. So let's set it to a cutoff of 300 hertz. Let's try that. Because most of like the crackles that we want to keep are like pretty high up there. And then the roll off is like how sharp the cutoff is going to be, right? So if this is my filter, right, it's going to cut off like at a slower rate if I pick the lower decibel values, right? So this is like how much is, like how many decibels is reduced for each octave that you go past the cutoff, right? If that makes sense, yeah. Right. But basically what you need to know is like the bigger number, the sharper the cutoff is basically it. And so sharper cutoffs will sound weird, I think, sometimes depending on the sound. But these, like the lower cutoffs, sound more natural, I think. Right, so we're going to choose 12, and let's just try that out. Right, so this is my freezer sound, so let's hear what it sounds like. Cool, so that's not too bad, but maybe I'm going to do a little bit more. So I'm going to undo, so Control Z to undo. Make sure I have everything selected, Control A, Effect, and let's go to the high pass filter again. So let's try 400 hertz cutoff, right? And let's try sharper cutoff, sharper roll off. And so yeah, you can do it's just different than isotope. So you just have to experiment. And I'll show you ways. There's ways to do this in Reaper too, and there's ways to do it, and there's a million different ways to do these things. So, you know, I'm just trying to show you one step at a time, sort of. Okay, so let's try that out. Okay. Okay, so it's not bad, but you, what? I'm sure a lot of you have a suggestion for me. What do you think I need to do? Anybody have a suggestion of what they want to try? I'm gonna undo it because I don't like what I just did. Okay, that's okay. So I think what I need to do in this situation is apply some denoise first. Right, so I'm gonna try to find the spot before I open the freezer door. Right, so you can sort of tell right there is when I open the freezer door. And so what I can do is highlight this stuff before it and give it a test just to make sure it's just noise in there. Yeah, okay, so I have just noise. All right, so now I'm going to go to the denoiser. All right, now this is kind of a review of what we did last time. Where is the denoise? Oh, it's called noise reduction. Yeah, noise reduction. I'm going to get my noise profile, and so I've selected my noise. Now I click get noise profile. Now I select everything. Effect, noise reduction. Let's go. I don't know. Let's try 15 and sensitivity. I guess maybe not too sensitive. I think that's the right thing. And I'm not sure which direction means what on the sensitivity now. You just have to experiment. Reduce, reduce. Yeah. Okay, cool. All right. So it definitely did something. All right, so let's give it a listen. Yeah. So it got rid of a lot of that noise. Cool. But actually, if you listen to it, it sounds a little bit fake. So maybe I might have done too much there. But anyway, so like I'll stop playing with this file for now. But like what I would want to do is get the denoise right, just right, like find the right balance for that. So I have to undo and like try it again. But yeah, that's what I want to do is like undo, try it again, get the denoise just right, and then go back and apply the high pass filter just to make sure all that low stuff is out of there, so that I can get a similar result as to what I get over here in isotope. Okay.
Yeah, it seems like they're both kind of doing the same thing in this circumstance, right? The noise and the high pass filter.
Oh, well, in this circumstance, yes, that's true. But that's because my noise, what I selected in my noise profile, it was basically just like some staticky stuff in the higher frequencies, but then the hum of the freezer in the lower frequencies, right? And so then because I used that for my denoise, it took that out in the denoise, okay? But then the low pass filter, all that's doing is just without regard to anything, just like sort of cutting out the low end without caring about what it is in the low end, okay? All right, so they do different things, okay? But in this circumstances, you sort of end up with a similar result, but they're doing different things. Yeah.
Yeah, but even in this circumstance, you think you would use both?
Yes, yeah, I would because the denoise is taking out noise at all frequency and like across all frequencies, right? And so it's taking out that like the just the background noise, and it's taking out the mic noise and things like that at all frequency levels, right? And but the low pass is only going to affect low frequencies. Yeah, yeah, okay. Right. And so in this case, yeah, it is a little bit redundant to do both, but not really. Yeah. Cool. Good. Yeah. Good question. Thank you. Yeah. And so like I tried to give you a little like a few case studies here over these few days, but it's just going to take practice. That's what it takes. So you guys will get some hands-on practice. Okay. So yeah, we're almost out of time here today. But I just want to say like on Monday, I'm not exactly sure what the game plan is, but we will try to do my game plan right now is like just to like start class, get everyone grouped in, and like I'll send you off. So we'll meet in Wortham for those of you who want to come to Wortham. Okay, we'll meet in Wortham, and or you can do it online too, of course. But either way, what we'll do is we'll sort of meet up and talk for a minute, and then we're gonna like break off, and we're just gonna try to get recordings on our own, sort of. And so I'll bring some stuff to try just to like experiment with in Rhythm. We just like some things to make noise, and we can just like sort of play around with those. I will come up with a way to do it socially distance, without too much of like everyone using the same equipment. If you have a mic, then you can bring it, of course. And but then I'll also like bring some of Room Labs mics to sort of check out to you if you want to take some and get started. Okay, and so that's the game plan. And then once, I don't know, after like maybe 20 minutes or something, half an hour, then we will we'll regroup, and then maybe we'll share a couple of things, and maybe we'll try to do some editing or something. But yeah, well, that's what we'll do. So it'll be just kind of a hands-on but germ-free day. That's the game plan. Okay. All right, and so yeah, if you want to stay home, that's fine. TBH, if you like really know what you're doing and you don't have a microphone yet or something like that, and if you just want to take a day off, that's fine too. Okay. Yeah. So don't even feel pressure to attend, I guess, but it'll be good hands-on practice if you've never done anything like this before. Okay. Yeah, I think that's all I have for you. So get started though, because it does take, if you've never done it before, it does take a little bit longer than what you think. Oh, I'm sorry. Didn't mean to do that. It does take a little bit longer than you think the first time you do something like this.
So about the length of the clips, like if it's just one kind of sound that's just like struck.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, it can be like a few seconds. That's totally fine.
Right, because you know what, I could take like multiple of them, but I feel like if I'm gonna be using them uh, to make like a piece, you know, I feel like it'll be more useful creatively if I can just, you know, like put in.
Yeah, great. Okay, yeah. So actually, what I would recommend doing, yeah, for like small short sounds like that, is actually for this I would get like a maybe a 20-second chunk of like several different like ways of hitting it. Maybe that would be a good practice. Because then you can have those in like your sample library. So like what I do on my computer is I just have like a little sample library here. All right, and I keeping all my samples in there, and then like say like yeah. So if you have like something that's struck, if you like hit it different ways, you have it all in that one file. But then when you go to use it later, then you can just take out that one chunk that you want to use later. But then you've edited that file now and like done denoise to it, and it sounds nice, and like all of the taps in that file sound good. But then like if you want to use them for a creative project later, you can just take them out and pop them in to Reaper. It's really easy to get rid of the other taps that you don't want to use for that case, if that makes sense. Was that helpful?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, and if you do want to do just one tap, and this goes to everybody, if you want to do just one tap or something, that counts as one of your 10. Okay. Okay, yeah, variety is what we're going for. Okay, so yeah, like I said, I'll be around this evening and over this weekend if you want to pick up a mic or something. Just let me know when you're coming, kind of. But other than that, I think that's it for today. So thanks for a great class, and I guess I'll see you on Monday.
Thank you.
Thank you.